Now to those major new developments involving antibody testing, one of the tools that may eventually help reopen the country. Trials have now gotten underway coast to coast, from California, where USC and Stanford are leading studies, to the Midwest and the Northeast. But the biggest one yet now taking place near Detroit, where 38,000 workers across a hospital system have the chance to get tested and help answer so many crucial questions about the disease and possible immunity. Diane Sawyer spoke with a doctor spearheading this groundbreaking new initiative.
This is what action looks like, and what can happen when some doctors and scientists decide to go big.
Dr. Sims, you are doing 38,000 tests. It's a pretty staggering number.
I would have never guessed I would do this sort of a study before.
The staff of the Beaumont Health System in Michigan geared up in just 3 weeks, launching a study by the medical experts, getting test kits, reviewing the accuracy, and mobilizing teams. And yesterday, the Beaumont staff started to line up. Each test a vial of blood, which may reveal whether you have the antibodies you produce to fight the coronavirus. One of the first questions to answer: how many of the potentially 38,000 people will have antibodies even if they had no symptoms of the virus?
This is 100% voluntary. But from the reaction I've seen, most people want to do this. Most people want to know. And, one of the most amazing things yesterday, I was by the blood draw station, and one of the people just turned, saw me, and just, he couldn't shake my hand, but he kind of did a little bow and just said, "Thank you for all of this. You're trying to save us." I was just awed by that. The sheer gratitude that I've seen from some people, it floors me.
One of the first to line up was Beaumont lab manager Tyler, who had a high fever back in February. Now he believes he knows exactly what it was. 2 days ago, he got the message he was positive for COVID antibodies.
What kind of relief did you feel when you heard this?
It's kind of like a little bit of a weight got lifted, just because there are so many people that are getting affected by this, that it's just nice to know that I somehow got through it without too much issue.
But Tyler and others, even those who have antibodies, are told not to change their careful and safe behavior until more is learned about when these antibodies appear and whether they actually convey immunity. Proof of immunity will take time.
Are you pretty confident that this is going to show evidence of immunity?
I'm hoping it shows evidence of immunity. Most viruses, when you get antibodies, you get immunity. There's every reason to think they should be protective, but until we prove it, we don't know. This is the study that's going to help prove it.
Are you doing a preview of what it will be like to get a huge population back into their lives, back into the future?
That's what we hope to do with this. Part of the goal of this is to figure out how to get people back to work, how to get people back to a relatively normal life.
Just some of the teams on the front lines this morning, taking action, hoping to gain information, hoping no time will be wasted.
So Robin, Michael, George, hello, and I wanted you to know I've been talking to scientists all across this country about how they are taking action and what they're finding, and I can't wait to report back into you. Talk to you soon.
Hello, Diane. We cannot wait. She is the one for that kind of reporting. I'm telling you, she's going to get some answers for us, and it's wonderful to see her, and it's great to see how that group of people like that, how they're stepping up, Michael, to make themselves available for that type of testing.
Yeah, everybody's doing what they can, Robin. And speaking of getting answers, we're going to bring in Dr. Ashton now, who's going to answer a few of our questions. And Doctor, we saw 38,000 people. That's a significant amount of people, which makes this study significant. But what do we hope to learn from this study?
Well, Michael, it's really about the who, what, where, when, why, how. We hope to learn who develops antibodies, whether people who have mild or no symptoms at all can develop antibodies, when they're developed, how long they last, how powerful they are. All of that is going to be critically important information to help us fight this virus moving forward.
We see the FDA authorized a new saliva test. Could the saliva test be a game changer in our fight?
Well, we hope so. Again, for a test to really be effective, we have to know how accurate it is. Obviously, it seems like it will be easy to use and, more importantly, will reduce exposure and risk to healthcare workers. But, Michael, until we see how accurate a test is, that's all to be determined. But I think we need to move to a point where this testing for COVID-19 can be as simple as a home pregnancy test. And so anytime we have another option, that's potentially encouraging and exciting.
And we see that the symptoms vary from person to person. We even see it with our own George and Allie. The symptoms are a lot different. Are there any theories on why some people may be asymptomatic?
There aren't. Remember, this virus is just barely 4 months old, so we're still learning a lot. It's still teaching us a lot. But we do know with other respiratory viral infections like influenza, there can be a range or a spectrum of severity. It may have something to do with how much viral load someone is exposed to. But again, that is why we need to test people with no symptoms whatsoever so we can learn about the mild or asymptomatic expression of this virus.
And Jen, the WHO, they said it's unknown if people can be reinfected with COVID-19. But in South Korea, they have cases where people got over it and now they've been tested and they are positive again. So what is the difference about this virus? Why is it so difficult to get rid of?
Well, you know, it's new, it's sneaky, it's highly transmissible, and it's dangerous. That South Korea data, we don't know whether their initial negative test result was a false negative, whether they were reinfected, whether they could still shed virus but not be contagious. So again, think of this like you have a new relative in your family and you know the parents, but you don't know the relative yet. You think you know how they're going to behave, but you still need to be introduced to that person. This is kind of the same thing.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.